Our adventurers find themselves joined together by the will of the god Bokob to retrieve the only egg of the Platinum Dragon, Bahamut. The egg lies at the bottom of the ocean, heavily warded and hidden. This is no light task, and carries with it the fate of the world and existence itself. Why we specifically have been chosen remains a mystery yet to be solved. As it stands, we have been bound by this mission and must see it through. We must first procure means to travel to the middle of the sea, enlisting a hardy crew and a worthy vessel. Despite the urgency of our task, there is one even more pressing. Augustus V is celebrating his birthday, and, in true Theodian style, this is no small affair. At his insistence, we are to celebrate in a manner befitting his opulent tastes, which begs the question, how do mages celebrate their birthdays? There is much planning and celebrating to be done. Information and coin shall trade hands, as well as too many drinks. This will truly be a night to remember for those who can.
Alright, so you guys are heading out. Like I said, it's late evening, so there's not a horrible amount of stuff going on. And after a moment, you realize you're very confused how you got to the docks when you were just in the courtyard.
We just traversed hundreds of miles in a shorter period of time. It should have taken us weeks.
Not the weirdest thing to happen today.
This is
you're not wrong.
These are things that I've heard of but never experienced.
And as you guys are walking along, you realize that how the fuck did you get here?
Or that good old magic, huh?
But as you guys are walking along going, and discussing how the fuck you got there, you appear again in the courtyard of the Imperial Palace.
That blockade runner sounds like a good bet.
Agreed.
Ideally would have all the things that we need to complete this god-set task.
We're going to need the one with the scorpion and the magic missile anyway. It's the best one.
We'll also need a carpenter in case of repairs.
And besides us, we'll need to find a crew to keep that ship running.
AJ, roll me a wisdom check real quick, just to remember what all you would need for a crew.
Come on.
That's alright. You know that at the very least you need a carpenter, you need a cook, you need a sailmender, and a rope maker.
And if we're hauling anything, security forces.
You three are walking in the courtyard now, like mid-stride. You were just in Trago, now you're in the courtyard in the Imperial Palace.
This magic shit is getting a little hard to deal with.
Yep.
I'm assuming we'll get used to it.
Maybe you will.
So you guys are in the courtyard. Where do you head?
I guess we need to go find what's-his-fuck, Sparkle Pants.
Alright, so you actually remember your way around the palace from prior timeline.
Over this way.
So you guys head towards the palace. Takes you a good half hour to you finally make your way to Augustus's room. Depending on what Augustus was doing. What did you guys do after you got to your room then?
We were showing him around the palace. Would have brought food back to his room, or had food brought to him. Or...
Right, you would have had one of the palace servants bring you.
Yeah, would have a nice spread.
Probably call it 30 minutes after you guys get back to your place. As they're bringing the food in, you hear another knock on your door.
Come in.
They kind of push the door open. You guys, see them eating and relaxing.
So did you find anything?
Yes, actually, we talked to the harbor master, and it seems like there is a suitable vessel for us. Asking price, however, what?
2,500.
Yeah, it's a good ship.
Right.
Pretty sturdy.
So,
Kept us alive.
Well, how'd you get to the harbor and back so fast? That's hundreds of miles away.
Bullshit.
right. I'm guessing Bokob had something to do with that, so. But their asking price is 2,500 gold, and we need at least a crew of 20 people.
Augustus sits up. Can I help recruit? If I'm going to be stuck on this boat, they will be the best of the best.
Well, I'm worth at least 2 sailors.
Yes,
Okay, then.
You are, Sal. Yes, you are.
Assemble the crew, and we'll acquire the boat.
Right. So I guess I have enough time tomorrow that I could probably do it in the morning, because I'm sure the festivities won't start until the evening. I'm sure we could find a crew by then.
Fair enough.
Have you ever sailed before? Do you know the intricacies that are involved in piloting and crewing a ship of that size?
Yes, actually, I do. I have years of experience in Ethiopian navies.
One talking to you, buckle down. Sparkle pants.
Looks over at Sparkle
Gets
Pants here.
a very dark smile. Yes, I know how to pilot a ship that size. Motions to the table full of the spread.
Oh, good.
Help yourselves, get comfortable. I figured, there's more than enough room for you to stay here.
So aside from your ability to handle large loads, is there anything you're contributing skill-wise to our seemingly impossible task?
He's magic. I mean, what more do you want?
Sal. Thank you. What more do you want besides my fabulousness
Trust
and
magic.
my coin purse?
I don't trust magic. Magic isn't going to save us with the strongest storms and the most wicked of seas.
No,
I survived the trip last time.
Nate, roll me a wisdom check. That statement does not mesh with what you've been told.
How many more Krakens can we run into?
Never run
Seen
into
a
a
kraken?
Have you seen one?
No.
Oh my.
Roll a bluff check on that one.
I am going to roll an opposed sense
Motive,
check
yeah.
on that.
They tied.
God damn!
Reaper. Okay. Seems legit.
So the statement sounds correct, but his instant backpedaling kind of raises a little bit of, but you're like,
This
whatever.
is getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
I am going to go to bed.
I'm going to retire for the night as well, then.
I just find like the biggest, fluffiest blanket I can find in like a corner.
I'm going to go tuck
work
myself in a corner with one of my daggers across my lap. I'm going to ignore the cots.
Augustus, roll me a perception check.
What the hell?
Nothing seems to catch your attention. Alright, so you guys all lay down to rest. The night goes uneventfully. Augustus, you're woken up, though, in the middle of the night to the sound of some crunching.
Frenching?
Crunching. Crunch.
Don't eat anything
Nom, nom,
that's
nom,
gonna
nom.
make you sick. And then he rolls over.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Caius,
Crunch.
alright,
Crunch, crunch.
go back to bed.
Roll me another perception check. Lindsay.
The fuck? Can I use the 19?
That's a little bit better. So you feel Caius kind of pounce onto your chest.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
As you look up, he's holding in his mouth what would be your brother's favorite food. Candied pears.
When he sees that, it kind of like it startles him, and he kind of sits right up. And then because it kind of triggers that it's only been like about a week or so.
And he gently sets it right next to you and kind of nuzzles it to you.
This is gonna give me heartburn. Picks it up and eats it, because obviously he wants him to eat it.
And as you eat it, he kind of nuzzles up against you and just the equivalent of a fox hug.
Kind of pets him. Kind of like goes to go back to sleep.
And again, nestles kind of up against your head. And the rest of your night goes uneventfully. Morning comes, light shines in the windows.
I'm going to say that Augustus has a standing order of breakfast being brought to him at a certain time every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time he wakes up, there'll be coffee and like a nice spread.
Drax wakes up first, Falcor. You wake up to a nice beam of sunlight right in your face. You're stretching, you see people coming in the door, wheeling in a cart of food. Everybody else is kind of laying around.
I wake up as soon as the door opened.
Roll me a perception check first.
God damn it.
So you do indeed hear the door open. Talbot's probably sleeping pretty heavily. You're semi-awake. You're kind of laying there enjoying the luxury of the bed that you're in. Even though it's a cot to Augustus, it's still relative luxury for you. So like I said, you guys that are awake, you see them wheeling in a few carts of food and drink. You easily recognize the food, of course, as breakfast food, and your energy, caffeine kind of drink for the morning.
Well, the smell of food, I wake up and I partake.
Get some coffee first, then food.
When Augustus wakes up, he rolls out of bed and pulls open the curtains.
Yeah.
Just standing there in all of his glory.
So that, combined with the rattling noise of cups and plates, will wake you up then, Sal.
I would assume so. Yeah, I'm a little bit groggy, but I'm awake and there's food.
Drinking some kind of beverage when Augustus goes to meet the glory, and I just spit out my coffee and ask him where his clothes are.
Right, kind of stretches and scratches his side and goes to get their equivalent of a cup of coffee. Sleep okay.
A grunt.
Yeah, that was lovely. Very comfy.
Goes to his closet and gets like a robe.
While you guys are eating, some of the servants come in and offer to clean your gear, help you wash up if you'd like.
I do the pit check sort of thing.
I can bathe myself. I don't need assistance.
Okay, well, we could give you some water to do it, because I'm pretty sure you could clean up very nicely. And you might be a little less grumpy.
The servants kind of are like, okay, so you'd like to wash yourself? We can take you to a private bathhouse that we are, one of the bathhouses we have here. One of them, kind of walks up and it kind of does the hand thing. Will you follow me? And they lead you down the hall. But they take you to a private bathroom.
And comb your hair.
Would you like a companion?
No.
Very well then. Then I will leave you to it. Your towel and some soaps are over there. When you're done, just ring a bell and we can help escort you back. AJ, they go to you. Would you like a bath? Would you like someone to help bathe you?
I can bathe myself, but if you have all the necessary things that I need for it, that would be great.
We can certainly take you to a private bath if you'd like.
Nods. And then, do you have people that could clean my gear?
Oh, certainly we can have that taken care of. Do you require any perfumes, any companions, food, drink?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Would you like a masseuse to loosen those? This is a female servant. She kind of looks you up and down. Tight muscles?
Sure.
They lead you down hall, again, to a private bath. It's an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
You get washed up. Whatever happens, happens. So, Falcor, they kind of do the same to you. They ask you the same series of questions, would you like a bath? Would you, et cetera, et cetera.
He's good with just breakfast.
Sal, they kind of turn to you. Would you like a bath drawn for you?
If it could be private, that'd be best.
Oh, certainly not an issue. Do you require any perfumes, soaps, foods, drinks, accoutrements?
If you have mint as a scent, that would really remind me of home. Make me feel very comfortable.
I think we can rustle that up. Do you require a massage, a companion?
Nope, what's under my clothes is between me and my god, but thank you.
Very well. And they take you by the hand and lead you to your own private bath. You guys bathe, you do your thing. Drex, what are you doing while everybody else is bathing? Because you're kind of there in the room alone then.
Just eating breakfast.
So about an hour goes by. They start, some of the people start coming back, like Talbot would be brought back, and so would Caden. A little bit later, you would have Augustus and Sal walk in at some point. So, like I said, everybody kind of filters back into Augustus's room.
Yep.
Probably Augustus last, because, it's Augustus and he
Yeah.
likes to make an entrance.
He walks in and waits for the door to shut and then lets his robe drop and then goes into his closet to get dressed.
Yeah, so you get dressed in your typical fashion.
So, let's go and hire ourselves a crew now, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
Time.
How are we getting to Trago?
The same way we came back. Goes back to
The Magister, yeah, the Court Magister.
Yeah, that can send them to where they need to go.
Typical nonchalantness. Okay, where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. And they send you down
Okay.
to...
Deep breath.
Roll your fort saves, AJ, Ash, and Jess.
Okay.
Alright, so Talbot, you get the same feeling you had before. Like, nope, still don't like this.
So, my captain, where are we going? Where would we find some good sailors?
Clearly down by the docks. Or also by some of the taverns.
Let's go to the docks.
Should we perhaps acquire the ship we plan to crew before acquiring the crew?
Yes, let's do that first. Let's
Well,
have
I
the
don't have
harbor
the money
master.
for that.
Probably wise.
Yeah, we need the funds.
How much was it?
2,500.
For the ship, yeah.
Oh shit, you can do that. Okay. So we're not. So we're going to buy a ship. Goes to go buy a boat.
You guys follow Augustus then, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you follow Augustus down to the harbor master again. Ah, I see you're back. Have you decided a ship?
We have, yes. And we will choose the blockade runner.
Very well. Do you have the 2,500 gold?
Will you accept the word of someone who works for the court?
This is not my ship to sell. I am just an intermediary.
Well, how about this? How about I give you 600 platinum for you to hold it, and we can get the rest of it to you by this evening.
600 platinum, you say?
Does that work for a down payment?
He looks at you.
Augustus.
Are you buying
Augustus.
2 ships?
That's 6,000 gold.
You want to buy 3 ships? Are you sure?
I'm sorry, I thought it was 25,000.
He sits there, he counts the money for a moment, and he actually pulls out what would be like a D. He does the quick check and makes sure, he's like, oh, Augustus, alright, kind of rolls his eyes. I've heard of you.
You know, today's my birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
I'm buying a boat.
Yes, I see that. And hand you the deed to the boat. It's parked in slip 207 down the other end.
We need carpenters, we need sail menders, we need a cook, we need security.
The harbor master's just like, you do know, and points over to the large board that you guys had pulled your notices from. There is a job board over there.
He has some paper.
Alright.
For a price.
How much? I just bought a boat. Can't you give me a free piece of paper?
That's not my money.
Give him 10 gold.
For paper? Someone take Augustus's pocket money from him.
Very well, he hands you an entire ream of quality parchment.
It was not just for the paper, it was for his time and the information that he was giving.
Right.
Again, he knows that, but he's just like, I'm gonna let you idiots to yourselves. Like I said, he takes the money and he walks off.
Takes a piece of the paper and
Could have just gone down to the local tavern and acquired a crew, but I guess
well, yes.
Look for the specific thing.
This way, the crew will acquire itself while we're off doing other things. We can just merely interview them later. They'll come to us. We don't go to them. Starts writing down all the things that they need and what time to meet, and figured to have them meet at the square because that's a popular meeting spot.
So then you post the job posting up on the board. Okay. So you guys head down to the slip. It is a regalish looking boat. It looks like it's been well kept. So it differentiates itself from like a standard human ship. Human ships tend to be a bit blockier. I mean, they still have the rounded beauty, but the Theodian ships tend to be just a little bit extra. So, like I said, as you get to the ship, it's a double-masted ship. It's got 3 decks. As you guys climb up on the deck, again, you see that it was immaculately kept. You can barely even tell that they've ever scrubbed the decks, but the decks are very clean.
Immediately I scale the crow's nest.
As far as crow's nests go, this is one of the most well-appointed one you've ever seen.
I'm checking for vermin.
As you scour the ship, you can tell, again, that it's been thoroughly cleaned and purged. There's not... In fact, when you go into the bilge, it's actually very clean. You don't see any vermin currently.
Then I return up to the deck.
Shimmy down the crow's nest. Land lightly on my feet on the deck.
Oh, what does Drax do when he gets on board?
When he checks the turrets on the deck, basically the weaponry, and checks also the stock of munitions, anything a merchant marine would be expected to be a part of, which is the defense of the ship.
So while you're inspecting everything, you realize, of course, that there is no ammo provided. The weapons stay, but they did not provide any ammo. That's on you guys to provide, of course. I assume that you also go down and check out the sick bay to make sure that everything's in order.
First, he checks the defenses, then he checks the what could be used as the sick bay, which is probably in this ship's case going to be one of the quarters.
Mm-hmm. There is actually one of the rooms that's marked with a red cross. As you step in, you do actually see that it is relatively well appointed with equipment.
They didn't destock that because that'd be bad luck.
Do you search through all the cabinets to account for everything?
He does take a bit of an inventory.
So there's a very familiar vial in there. It has a almost a blue glow to it.
He inspects it more closely.
Roll me a wisdom check. It's familiar, but you cannot remember for the life of you what it is.
He opens it.
In your head, you hear, "Well, thank you for freeing me."
That's no problem at all. I just can't remember why.
It's a will-o-wisp floating in front of you. Oh, bother. Well, this is awkward. Your people are the ones that put me in this tube.
Whoa. What do you mean, my people?
Oh, those from the south. However, since you freed me, you are still to be granted one question. Answered directly.
Will you help us when we need it?
If you procure my services, I can assist.
What would you like? He offers up a full bottle of booze, of whiskey from his bag.
No, that of course is not payment.
Oh, I can't say what you would consider payment, but
Vengeance. Nothing less than the death of the King of Atwala.
could I arrange it? I would gladly do so.
And it seems you cannot meet my price.
I would meet your price in a heartbeat. If you ever find me a means to meet your demands.
Very well. As it floats off. So while you were below deck, Sal, at some point you saw a small blue glowing light float by and shoot out of like the stairwell.
And I would just take that, we're in Theodia. That's probably just some other magical bit.
Talbot, roll me a perception check.
Okay, take it.
So, Augustus, out of the corner of your eye, you see something relatively familiar take flight from below deck. Talbot, unfortunately, you did not see it.
Is that what I think it is?
Roll me a wisdom check. It is precisely what you think it was.
Oh, I missed that thing.
But yeah, you see it shoot off and just zip out the distance. Talbot, now to you. What do you go check out first? What's the most important thing to Talbot Black on a ship?
The most important thing? Well, The steering.
So he's up on he goes up on the poop deck. You of course check out the steering wheel. It does look like it is completely intact.
I check the ropes. I check the mast. I check.
Yep,
Yeah.
everything is in pristine or semi-pristine condition. You can find no issues with the boat. In fact, you feel that you've underpaid for the boat. Plenty of storage for whatever provisions you would need to cross the ocean. However, one thing you do realize that arming the magic missile turret is not cheap.
Right. Well, regardless, we'll still need to make sure that that we are sufficiently stocked with munitions for both the ballista and for the magic missile. Obviously, since the magic missile turret is going to be a little bit more powerful and should be used in more dire situations, that ammo would be used more sparingly.
You guys have your little discussion on that. Augustus kind of just walks around the deck.
He's more watching Caden.
Okay. So, Caden, you after a little bit, you realize that you're being watched pretty intently by Augustus.
I'm gonna I guess I'm just walking around, and then I'll just feel his eyes on me, and I'll just whip around and stalk to him and demand to ask what's his problem. What's your fucking deal, man?
What's
Quit
your
fucking
name?
eyeballing me.
Because he never introduced himself.
Did I?
No, you did not.
Caden.
Who's your family?
Why?
Your sister.
I don't have a sister.
Roll a bluff check, Ash.
I don't have a sister, and I don't know my family.
You're a sailor, right?
Yes,
Ship you were on.
the big one.
I'm sure it was. Your skills are a little, reminiscent of someone that I used to know, who I was told to avoid.
I can't help you.
Just narrows his eyes to him a little bit.
Glare right back.
You wouldn't happen to know Chester, do you?
Can't say that I do. Why, is she a former lover of yours that I've scorned or something?
No, definitely not. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Something's not adding up here, but he doesn't think it's that.
There's definitely some sort of cognitive dissonance going on.
And he's kind of just looking around, and then he turns and walks off the ship. I have a birthday to get ready for.
Both Talbot and Falcor come up on deck pretty much as Augustus is walking off.
Well, first things first, before we set sail, we definitely need munitions.
Needs a fully charged crystal, I assume.
Like I said, as you guys came up on deck, you saw
He came
Augustus
up
walk
while
off.
he was... Yeah. You know where he is.
Augustus!
Yes?
You wouldn't happen to know the cost for a crystal for a magic missile turret, would you?
I don't know. 10 gold?
I find that hard to believe, but
100 gold? Maybe it's 10 platinum. I don't know. Go shopping.
About 100 gold per crystal.
Too bad. How many crystals do we need? 10?
Depends how long the journey is.
So 20 crystals?
probably three to five. I mean,
I'm
I'd go
really
at least-
good at math.
I'd go at least 4 to 6 crystals per journey, depending on the length of the journey.
well, for that I would then go with 5 crystals. If we're going to do more journeys than this, we'll at least have it on hand.
Well, if we're going to the south, he would, at this time, would have gone back up onto deck if they're having this conversation. This wouldn't be a shouting match in the marina.
Well, if anything with munitions, I think 3 engagements per crystal. I would say we should go with 3 crystals then.
Well, if we're going to be down in the south, and magic is not prevalent down there, it's not necessarily like we could very easily recoup our losses.
Agreed.
So I would err on the side of getting more rather than less.
Are we heading to the south?
We might be.
We should probably decide who's going to be the captain of this journey.
Oh, I just figured it would be Captain Black. Points over to Talbot.
I do
Agreed, but it's best to call for a formal vote.
Agreed. I don't want it to be just unilateral. I'd rather that you and the crew come to a vote, and we do it the right way.
He looks to
Quite frankly,
Caden and Sal. Does anyone else care to throw their hat into the ring for captaincy?
No, sir. I'm good just being a helping hand.
And what about you, Caden?
I don't really have a desire to be captain either, but I also have really no desire to follow this tool.
I guess with no other objections, I do humbly and graciously accept the title as captain.
As you state those words, you feel a searing pain in your arm.
Ah! So I look. What do I see?
So you see the name of the boat in a magic tattoo on your arm. The blockade runner in script on your arm.
The nine hells?
Are you okay?
Magic
Yeah.
shit.
It says blockade runner on my arm.
Guess there's no change in the name now, right?
It's getting weirder and weirder.
As you continue to stand on the deck of the ship, you can almost feel the ship. Almost as if you are the ship. You can feel the wind, the light breeze that's pushing against the sails. You can feel the water lapping against your feet.
Well,
it's fucking weird.
this is weird, but okay. First thing first, we need to get that map room set up. We need to get maps. We need to plot our courses. We need to get ballista armaments ready to go. Once we have that, we have our provisions. We are ready to set sail.
Tomorrow by noon, we'll have a whole bunch of people who are just lining up to be a part of our crew. And then we can just go shopping in the morning.
Fair enough.
Well, I think we could go shopping now.
I think we can get ready for my party now.
All right, it's your birthday.
I guess if that's important.
It's a mage's birthday.
I'm gonna
It's
scoff.
Augustus's birthday.
Whether it's
Whatever,
cigars and whiskey,
it will be whatever you want.
I'm on board.
All right. Party, prepare.
You feel another wave of magic wash over you,
Yeah.
and you see captain's bars appear on your shoulder.
You just became a man.
Does that always happen when one procures a ship, or is this something new?
100% weird.
It was like it was meant to be.
So you guys head on out then to enjoy an evening of pleasure. Straight up Bacchanalia kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at me. I'm the captain now.
But AJ, while you're away from the ship, you feel a longing for the ship. Like you feel like you should be there. You should never be away from it.
Like I should be out sailing the high seas.
So the afternoon and evening progress as one would expect a Bacchanalian type party to be. Late, devolving late into the night, of course, straight up orgies and whatnot. Fireworks, orgies, feasts. We'll curtains down on that. We won't go into details on that. And then next morning.
Like, the room is a mess. Multiple people who aren't the party are crashed in his room. Breakfast still arrives at 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Sal, what did you do during this? Did you enjoy the festivities?
I ate so many cheese fries.
That's Sal's definition of hedonistic.
Yeah, and maybe I had like a cider or two, but they were just like so many and they didn't stop like serving them. So I'm like in a cheese fry hangover in a corner somewhere.
So yeah, you all kind of wake up throughout the morning with varying degrees of hangovers of sorts. Drax, one of the worst hangovers you've ever had. Talbot Black, again, you actually have a minor hangover, and again, you feel the ship calling to you. Caden, this is probably a run-of-the-mill hangover for you, because you would have had some fun. You'd cut loose. You would have been cautious, but still cut loose. 1 turned into 7.
Jesus.
I don't feel like he would make that mistake, though.
All right, roll me 2 will saves then.
Fuck.
Yep.
Double fuck.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
So,
It hit me.
actually, you were extremely enthralled by the party. And you were everybody's friend. The magic of the Bacchanalia got you. So as you wake up, you have a monster of all hangovers. And then Augustus, of course, your normal level of hungover, because, you know, you're a fucking lush.
He downs a potion.
Again, yeah,
One of those
you're used to it.
hangover cure
You're like,
things. Yeah, there's like 20 of them in his bedside thing. He throws a handful to the people who are in his bed, and then goes around and starts giving them to the people who are in his room.
You've got Drax wound up falling into your room drunkenly. But yeah, everybody had a great night. Talbot actually wakes up in the captain's cabin of the ship with no memory of how he got there.
He's probably like, who cares?
And, Sal would have found an empty bedroom or somewhere to
Somewhere
crash
cozy.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even by the hearth in the main hall.
Absolutely, that sounds about right.
Curled up right in front of the hearth on like a bear rug or something.
Yeah.
I think we've lost some people. Gets up, opens the curtains, grabs his, basically does his morning routine, gets his coffee, puts his robe on, goes to go and take a bath. Afterwards, he would try and find the rest of their group.
So anybody that was wandering around, servants would have come up to you like, hey, how you feeling? Good morning. Can I help you? Either trying to usher people out, they're trying to clear out the after party so they can clean up for the next night. But one or two of them might recognize like Caden and Sal. They'd offer you, what they normally offer people. Hey, you need a bath. Do you need food? Blah, 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 blah. Like, Caden, like I said, they keep, a couple of them come up to you. Do you need anything, sir?
I would probably I'm in a piss ass mood. Like I have nasty ass temper, but piss ass mood. I'd be like, bath, point, growling. And they'd be like, yep. I'd be like, fuck, go.
And then they hand you a small vial. You may wish to down this, sir. It will lessen the effects of your sickness.
I'll pound it and throw it against the wall.
It shatters against the wall. As you're walking down the hall towards where they point you, you immediately start to feel a bit better. So you all go do your baths and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Captain Black?
Yeah.
So you're on the ship. You wake up, you're on the ship. You have a slight hangover. Nothing you haven't had before.
So wake up, try and shake it off.
So you get up, you realize, wait, I'm on the ship. How did I get here? I was in Clar last night. How am I on the ship?
Yeah, it feels right to be here, though.
Yeah, but what he's saying, it's like 100 miles away.
Something's telling me we need to leave sooner rather than later. I go to head to the map room. There's no maps there still, right?
Hold on. So as you head to the map room, you do see that there are several small maps laid out. But you do see relatively detailed maps, of the northern and southern coastline.
Well, based on we need to go, I then start to plot a course, plot the course before we set sail, so that we know exactly what we're doing or where we're headed.
So you realize that the coordinates that the general idea where Drax had told you is still relatively near the Theodian Isle. Still requires a lot of searching. Now, you also know that those are fairly treacherous waters. It's rumored that a kraken does inhabit that stretch of sea. There's also been siren spottings, as well as mermaids along the shore.
Right.
It is a heavily enchanted area.
So besides sirens and mermaids, any other hazards that I have heard or am aware of?
It's fairly deep. once you get out to sea. But there are your run-of-the-mill creatures too. You've got your sharks, you've got your squids, you've got crocodile. Or if you're close enough, you have saltwater crocodiles close to land. All kinds of, your standard seafare. So you spend your morning poring over maps, plotting courses. What is the rest of the group doing?
Drinking so much water.
I was gonna say, after Augustus finishes getting ready, he's gonna try and find and round everybody else up to try and go to the where are we going? Trago? Is that the?
Yep, that's where the ship is moored.
Yeah.
Caden?
I'm feeling marginally better, so probably kind of walk around a little bit, kind of look at, I guess, the palace and everything, just because I've never been anywhere like this, but not being like really overt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of curious about the dungeon that was mentioned earlier. Find a quiet place and check, like, do I have all my stuff? Like, all my weapons are sharp. I have all my gear.
Yeah, for the most part, the servants. If you left it lay around, they made sure it got back to you, or you kept good enough track of it. Either way, you have all your gear. The servants in this palace are quite attentive, even when you're not.
So there's no way for me to go exploring without getting caught.
I mean, like I said, whatever's not locked or unlocked, whatever's not locked, you can walk into. But restricted areas are guarded, of course, because one, you are an outsider, so it's not like you're Theodian, which would grant you access to certain other places. I mean, you can attempt to, by using sneak or whatnot.
Guess I go find a high place where I can just kind of look out over everything and just kind of sit and think.
Okay, so in your wandering, you do eventually come upon one of the towers. You can climb up the tower, the spiral staircase up to the top of the tower. Look out off the balcony. You can see off into the distance.
Such a strange place.
Very much so. Very much so. Everybody knows that you were planning to gather down south, or down at Trago to vet the crew. Y'all probably eventually wandered to the room where they do the teleporting at about the appropriate time, and of course, you get teleported down to Trago, down by the docks.
Do we know that Talbot was not like?
Yeah, when we've been worried.
Does any? All right, so
would have been like, he's a big boy. He knows where we're going.
Okay.
I give zero shits about anybody else. So.
And if Augustus thinks it's okay, then I'm probably like, okay, he knows, so everything's probably fine.
He's got a groupie. This is great. I love it.
Sal is the groupie, the Augustus groupie.
I love it.
Like I said, you guys arrive at the docks near the meeting square. What do you do?
You gotta go shopping.
Well, we need to get some stuff for the boat, right?
Right. What all do we need?
We gotta find our captain first.
You want to go to the boat, do another once over, and make sure that we didn't miss anything?
So then you guys head to the boat then? Is that what you were doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Alright, so you guys roll up to the boat, down at the slip. March up the gangplank, all that good stuff. You actually see Talbot kind of, you don't see him on deck.
Captain?
Black.
AJ, roll a perception.
Hold on.
Said, listen.
16.
While you're deep in thought, doing your contemplating and all that, and plotting, you hear someone shouting your name.
So I walk out of the room. Oh good, you're all finally here.
When did you get here?
I don't know. 1 minute I was drunk, and the next minute I woke up in my quarters.
It's a heck of a night.
Right?
Oh,
Well-
such a good night.
Well, it was all well, fun and good, but we need to get prepped, like now.
Right, so we're gonna go shopping. What do you need?
We need ammunition for the ballistas. We also need a crew. We need to do vetting. I feverishly write down the list of the things that we need.
Can you write slower so I can actually read your handwriting?
So I write down, proper crew, ammunition, like all the provision stuff that we need.
Captain, what about maps?
I have them. Woke up this morning, went to the map room, and there were all sorts of maps. I've been poring over them all morning.
This ship is magic. This
Guess
is really
so.
weird.
Well,
Roll a perception check,
Roll it.
everybody. So, AJ, you feel like they've hurt the boat's feelings by calling it weird. The rest of you feel the boat almost. You're like, did the boat just shudder?
Hey, they didn't mean that.
Weird in the best way possible, I can assure you.
I think you hurt the boat's feelings.
I'm so new to all this magic stuff.
Look, I find it all odd, but we hurt the boat's feelings. Look, we're sorry.
Yeah, didn't mean any offense.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so let's go and get some stuff.
So you guys head down to Marcus's Market
Yep.
and roll in and do some shopping.
Basically, Augustus just hands him the list and be like, how much?
How much do you need of each?
He didn't say.
How long are you provisioning for? You remember that it took about 4 days to get where that ship sank? From
About
Trago?
2 weeks then.
So 4 days there, 4 days back. Assume a week to look for whatever we're finding. So that's 3 weeks right there.
And then if any of it's magic, tack on another week, because if we go to the south, we can't get that again.
And for how many crew are you provisioning for?
20.
I'm going to say 25.
24, because I count as 2.
So you see him kind of do some mental math. Right. Very well. Which ship do you need it delivered to?
The blockade runner.
Oh, aye.
How much is this going to be?
Tallies it up again. 832 gold, 17 silver pieces, and 1 copper.
He would just round it up to 835.
And that's to be delivered to the blockade runner, correct?
Yes. He gives them 83 platinum and 5 gold.
Easy enough. He picks it up with just a whirling motion of his hand. It disappears.
Whoa.
Your supplies are there.
That makes our lives a lot easier.
When as you're pacing around the deck, Talbot, you just see a pile of shit just appear on the deck.
Ah, excellent.
Back at the shop, do you require any further services? Perhaps another magic missile turret?
How much are they?
2,347 gold.
Jesus
Okay, we'll be back.
If you want one of the older ones, they're 1595. 1500.
Nope, I think we're good. We'll be back when we're interested. Starts walking out and kind of waving.
Okay, bye, thank you.
As you guys are walking away, he points to a sign. No refunds.
Go head back to the boat, try to collect Captain Black so he can come with us to vet people.
So you all head back to the ship. When you get to the ship, you see a large pile of supplies on the deck.
Augustus is going to kind of eyeball it to make sure we got everything we ordered.
As you do the count, you realize that everything's precisely as ordered.
A half hour before, Augustus would suggest heading down to the square, see who answers the job postings.
I'm gonna stay with the ship to load supplies.
Do we see people answer the call?
Oh, of course. You've got at the square, the meeting square. There are just people everywhere. A good 700 to 800 people there.
I definitely want experienced people.
So here's what I'm gonna do for this, because I'm not role playing 800 people.
Well, no, I was going to say,
why
anybody who doesn't
not?
have this many years experience, go. I don't need you.
Okay, you see about a quarter of them walk off.
Augustus scans the crowd to see if he recognizes anybody that was on our last adventure.
You do recognize a male face. The good old lumberjack.
Why don't we look for the people that we know we need roles for and see, like, who's a carpenter, who's a cook?
Yeah, all the cooks over here,
Well,
all the carpenters over there.
Anyone who doesn't know how to do this, or
Doesn't meet
what is
X
it?
amount of criteria. Like in between him yelling that, he points to the lumberjack and goes, "Him. We need him."
Like, you there! Hey, you there!
Comes
Step
walking
forward.
up.
Like, step forward!
As he walks up, he does not seem to be as joyful as he was when you met him prior. He's definitely not sulking, but you can see he's hiding some pain.
So after processes of elimination, how many people are left?
You actually managed to find yourself a very skilled cook, a moderately skilled rope and sail mender, a midline navigator, because as a captain you can't do everything. About 5 what you would consider extremely experienced deckhands. And the remainder are not quite greenhorns, but they're damn close, but they're still far and above most of what's there.
What about a healer? Shouldn't we have a healer on board?
That's Falcard.
Oh, God.
He's a healer?
He's our doctor.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
He is a medic.
Okay.
What do you need? Do you need medical staff alongside?
Nah, he should be fine.
As I say, Augustus would figure he'd be fine on his own.
Are we missing anybody? We have deckhands, we have the cook, we have a sailmender, we have a carpenter. Do we have other security?
Everybody that serves on a ship is expected to be able to handle a sword or bow.
Alright, so at that point it's like, alright, let's go to work, let's set sail.
You would know to go out with the tide. So
Alright.
either very early morning or very late night.
Begin final preparation, we launch pre-dawn.
Next couple hours, a bunch of people filter on and off the ship. AJ, roll will save.
13.
You feel the boat getting happier the more feet that are upon it.
Good.
So, like I said, the day progresses, goes fairly normal. You guys are moving supplies around. Whatever Caden's doing.
Augustus will go back and pack his shit and come back at some point.
Say most of the rest of you probably have your stuff down in Trago if you had a room down there. As the crew is coalescing on the ship over the course of the day, the morning would come and you would set sail with the tide.
We'll start to try and take his pants off.
Your pants or my pants?
His pants, not your pants.
Okay.
No, he sees you as like a child, so no, he would not be taking your pants.
Okay, good.
Dustin is
Well, we
filling
can get
in holes
started.
for me.
Oh,
Ash, phrasing.
I'll allow it.
Large.
Okay, do it again. Okay.
Everyone
Turn your
breathe.
video off.
Once again with feeling, Ash.
Do what?
I feel like that's your mom voice in the middle of the night. Hey, Jay!
No, that's yelling at like the dog. Stop licking your ass.
Rewind.
One chip, please.
I would like 1 drugs, please.
Yeah.
Right?
Just one pant.
Just 1 pant. I don't need the whole pants.
Just one pant.
The
I
lower half,
I can only afford 1 pant.
the knees down. Why would you sit out on a sunny day that's 74 with no cover whatsoever
In the sun.
in the sun?
Anyway.
Our first nice day in a week and a half, and you're like, I'm gonna go out and get skin cancer. Yeah, I'm so bad at this. I can't do because she's gonna pull out these one-liners, and I'm gonna lose my shit every time.
Not that kind of logging.
You
But,
should be
you-
inside the ship.
Episode title, Not That Kind of Longing.
I recommend
Really
we
now?
acquire a lumbersmith.
A lumbersmith.
I'm gonna take it that since you were dropped on your head by Bocob, I'm gonna let that one slide. I'm sure we can find a lumberjack.
I've been trying not to laugh like for the last 30 minutes, and that one got me.
Lumbersmith. I think that's our new terminology for today.
I love lumbersmith. Oh no.
My face hurts.